What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to give you my honest review about the MU Monarch mobile game. So this review is not something that I really had in mind, or something that I've planned. The reason why I played MU Monarch is because I keep seeing this game in video ads, regardless if the video was on Facebook or YouTube. So I got curious. I wanted to know if this game is real. As you all know, there are a lot of video ads nowadays that showcases a game. However, once you download that game, it's not really the same game that you were watching in the video. So I, for one, got really curious about MU Monarch since this game has been advertised a lot, especially in social media videos. So I downloaded the game in my emulator to see if this game is legit, and same as advertised. I went into the game with zero expectations and just wanted to see if I will be able to experience playing MU online again. For those who haven't heard about this classic MMORPG, especially for my younger audience, MU is an MMORPG that was developed by a Korean gaming company named Webzen. This game was initially introduced back in the day around 2001. As you can see, this is one of the classic MMORPG games that we played back in the early 2000s, when kids were still playing in computer shops. Although for me personally, I didn't really play a lot of MU growing up, because my main MMORPG back then was still Ragnarok Online. But still, I played this game for a while, especially when it was first launched. Of course, every time you see a new game in a shop, you will always be intrigued and you want to try the game for yourself. But anyway, the MU Monarch is just a variant of MU Online. To my surprise, when I downloaded the game in the Google Play Store, I saw that the MU Monarch was licensed by Webzen. So that gave me some assurance that this game might be legit. After downloading, I immediately started playing the game. And to my surprise, upon logging in, there are a lot of servers available in the game. You have to take note that this game was just released a few months ago. So seeing a lot of busy servers in the game really shows that this game has a decent amount of players. And since I am new to the game, I chose the newest server possible so that I will be able to catch up with their level and progression. And similar to the classic MU Online, you have different classes that you can play in the game. From Dark Knight, Dark Wizard, Fairy Elf, Magic Gladiator, and the Holy Mentor. If I remember it correctly, the only class that I've played in this game is the Dark Knight, which is why that is also the class that I will use in this game. Right off the bat, the first thing that I notice in this game is the art style. It feels like I hopped into a time machine and went back to the past. The art style is not really the typical style that you see in most modern MMORPG nowadays. This is still the classic MU Online art style from way back in the day, which I don't really have any problems with, because again, this is the type of art style that I grew up in. Now, it's not really an apple-to-apple comparison when it comes to the user interface. Of course, since MU Monarch is a mobile game, the user interface will also be catered to mobile users. As you can see in the left side of the screen, you have the movement wheel, and at the right side is where you can use your skills for your character. The funny thing about this user interface is the health and mana for your character. You wanna know why? Because it resembles the health and mana globes of the Diablo games back in the day. If we open up our inventory, even the equipment slots are very similar to the Diablo's character interface. What's even more hilarious is the potions is very similar to the potions in Diablo as well. Maybe this game is heavily inspired by the classic Diablo games. Although I'm not so sure, you can let me know in the comment section if this is true. But anyway, the gameplay is also very similar to the classic MU Online. It's like you're still playing the classic game back in the day. The main difference is that you are now playing on your mobile phone. Of course, there will also be some changes in some parts of the game, especially in how you do your daily missions, which is fairly common in most mobile MMORPGs. But before we dive deep into these new changes, let me first give you a glimpse on the equipment system in the game. To be honest, the equipment system is fairly similar to the classic game. You can get your equipments from normal monsters, gold monsters, and boss monsters. You can also upgrade your equipment by using diamond materials that you also get from these monsters. It is very straightforward and is not really hard to comprehend, especially if you have been playing MMORPGs for quite some time now. Each equipment that you get have different unique stats and set effects. As mentioned earlier, this is very similar to the Diablo games back in the day where you get the same equipment but have different unique stats and effects. So if you have experience playing the old Diablo games, I'm pretty sure that you will easily understand how the equipment system works in this game. One of the things that I also like from this old style of equipment management is the refining of equipment. As you can see, the armors that I'm wearing are glowing and have a sparkling effect. This is because I was able to reach the +7 refinement of the equipment. Whenever you reach +7, +9, and +13 refinement, your equipment will have a different glow effect, which is quite cool as this was the sign of a character that has a good progress back in the day. In terms of the progression system, this is also easy and straightforward as there are only 4 stats that you need to keep in mind. Of course, this build is for my Dark Knight. If you choose to play a different class, you will be adding points for a different stat. Now, moving on to the things that you do in the game, which are your daily missions. The daily goal icon shows all the daily missions that you have to complete in a day. The missions are different from each other, from defeating field bosses to completing dungeon instances. It's quite fun as it gives you a variety of things to do in the game. It also allows you to team up with other players, especially when completing dungeon instances. The best part about completing these daily missions is that you get a lot of progression rewards in return, from tons of EXP and progression materials to improve your character's equipment. And by the way, leveling up in this game is so easy. I'm already at level 122 and I've only been playing this game for 1 to 2 hours a day. What surprised me the most in this game is that even though I'm offline, the game still gives me EXP as a reward, which is crazy because you don't really see this in most MMORPGs. So it doesn't really put pressure on the players to be online 24/7. Another thing that surprised me about this game is the game's trade market. Now, as compared to modern MMORPGs, the trade market is usually built as an auction house, where players can only put an item on sale without being able to set their own price. The game itself will be the one to set up their prices for each item. However, in this game's trade market, the players have the ability to sell items at their own preferred price. And by the way, there are 3 currencies in the game. You have the gold coins, MU coins, and diamonds. The gold coins are the currency that you can get when defeating monsters in the world, while the MU coins are currency that you can get from recycling or selling equipment in the trade market. The diamond currency can be obtained by topping up in the game. This is basically your premium currency. Now, speaking of premium currency, I know this question will be asked a lot. Does the game have microtransactions? The answer to that is yes. Like your typical mobile MMORPG game in 2024, this game has also microtransactions. From the first recharging gift, benefit daily pack, and from the diamond store. I think microtransactions in general is a norm that majority of mobile games have nowadays. So it doesn't really surprise me at all that there are pay-to-win benefits in this game. With that being said, I think the next question that will be asked is, can an F2P enjoy and play the game? The answer to that is yes. I am just an F2P. As mentioned earlier in the video, I only tried the game out of curiosity, and so far, I've been enjoying my time with it. And what's crazy about this is that I was able to buy the VIP pass where I get additional stats and drop rates by using my MU coins. I was able to accumulate enough MU coins from equipments that I was able to buy the VIP pass without spending money in the game. So yeah, I think F2P players can still enjoy the game. Moving on to the next thing that surprised me the most is the PK functionality in the game. I know this will raise a lot of eyebrows from players in the game, but you can actually kill other players in leveling or farming areas. Although I don't really feel like it's that problematic, because based on my experience, I have only been PK'd twice in the game. Of course, you might have a different experience from me, so just take note of that, and be aware that you can be attacked by other players while AFK. Another thing that this game has, which is very common in most mobile MMORPGs, is the autoplay mechanic. I think this mechanic has been available for most games nowadays, allowing players to leave their characters while farming in a spot. I know there are mixed reactions about this mechanic. There are still players who don't like having an autoplay in the game, while some players love that mechanic in most mobile games. So I guess this ultimately boils down to the player's preference. From a person who played the game with zero expectations, I can say that I enjoyed my time playing this game. Overall, the mechanics are simple and easy to understand. This game gave me a sense of nostalgia from the days when online games were still played in computer shops, and I loved it. I'm still playing the game up until now, especially since I just changed to the next class of the Dark Knight. If you are someone who is looking for a classic MMORPG or just an MU Online fan, you definitely should try this game out. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more game reviews in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. GG!
You're a superhero.